Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Conroy-Roth, and you are watching the latest episode of Lightning Leadership. With me is John Harrison, and I've known John since we thought about this, and I think it was 2007, 2008 was the first time that we had coffee down in Castleton, and I was just amazed. And so, when we talk about relationship and relationship management and sales and business development, John Harrison and people, lots of people. John Harrison comes to mind. So thank you, John Harrison, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me about your Zap moment. When did you first realize that you were a leader?
I would have to say it came in my high school years.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm, and because of that, I was in Future Farmers of America. And our FFA chapter, a bunch of good old farm boys, we were just hanging out and having fun and doing farm boy things. And the teacher came to us one day and said, "Well, we need someone to be the president of the parliamentary procedure team."
Okay.
No hands went up. And I didn't even know what parliamentary procedure was. I'd never even heard of Robert's Rules of Order. But
Hmm.
after looking around and no one volunteering, I realized someone's got to do this. So I stepped up and I volunteered and I became the president of our parliamentary procedure team. And so we learned Robert's Rules of Order, and we practiced and we practiced and we practiced, and we went to competitions, and I was nervous as all get out.
Oh my goodness.
But I was shaking. I'm almost shaking now just thinking about that first time I had to get up in front of everyone and run a meeting following Robert's Rules of Order as
Yeah.
the president. And and that kind of was my moment when I thought, you know what? I made it through this and I didn't die. I could do this again. So later, we had elections for the chapter, and I became the president of the chapter. And I was also, and then it was a series of events after that where I just found myself more and more volunteering, stepping up, being willing to take on the leadership role in whatever it was.
I love it. I love it. And I did not grow up on a farm. And so people that do grow up in farms, I'm all ears because I just really want to kind of understand and listen. And it's a culture thing. But it's a great way with the FFA to build leadership skills. And they're actually headquartered here in Indianapolis. And so
Yes.
I've had a chance to get to know them. And also they were a client of mine a few years back. And so great
Yeah.
organization for young people.
Fantastic organization. So when I was a kid, they were still headquartered in Kansas City. So
Okay.
for our national convention, we had to go out to Kansas City. So we took our officers out there for the convention, and it was quite an experience. And then
Awesome.
later they moved here, and it is a great organization, and it does instill in young men and
Yeah.
women who get involved leadership qualities because there are
Awesome.
so many opportunities.
Good deal. So you have 30 plus years in IT consulting sales. Tell me a little bit about that and tell me kind of tips and tricks you've kind of learned along the way.
Yeah, I think early in my career, I was very fortunate to land at a place called Whitman Hart, which was a phenomenal company in the 80s, 90s, and up to about 2000, and was surrounded by just tons of really, really bright people. Um, and what I learned very early on was don't talk, listen.
Mm,
These people are really smart, and try to remember some of the stuff they're saying. Soak up as much as you can. I was very fortunate that a couple of people took me on as my mentor,
hmm.
as a mentor. Mentorship is huge for people early in their career.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can get from watching a video or reading a book or studying. Seeing it in real life, I think, is far more valuable.
Yeah.
So I sought out early mentors, and I listened and hung on their every word.
Good deal. Good deal. Um, so much of sales and business development is relationships. Tell me a little bit how important relationships are and the style in which you kind of continue to grow and build them.
Yeah, I think again it goes back to kind of the beginning of my IT career. We had a phrase that we used: under promise and over deliver.
Yeah.
So when you go into a consultative sales setting, you're trying to understand what is the client trying to solve. It's not what am I trying to sell. Some people think sales is about, okay, I'm representing a product, so I have to tell you all the features and all the benefits, and then you buy it. That's
Yeah.
not really the process. That's not really what people want. 30 years ago or today, and I guess we'll get into that more in a minute. But I think it's really more important to establish that connection with the person, to be able to use empathy to understand the problem that they're trying to solve. You may or may not have the solution. I got something from another coworker that I worked with years ago, Loretta. Shout out, Loretta. I'm sure
Shout
you'll be
out.
watching. Loretta said something one day that I thought was really, really perfect. She said, "Be useful first."
Love it.
Meaning, don't go in there trying to figure out what's in it for you. Try to figure out how you can help them. And she lives her life that way. And I have as well. From early in my career, it's always trying to figure out what do they need to get done. And then if I can help them, whether it's with my company or someone else, like referring you or a trusted partner, helping that person get to where they're trying to go.
Yeah. I had someone told me years ago, help first, do business second.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that kind of plays within that same line of if you really lead with empathy, if you really want to listen, if you really want to help people solve problems, right? That's caring, right? That's empathy. And oh, by the way, let me figure out how I can help. It might be something that we sell. It might not be. It might be, say, I don't know, cybersecurity or business relationship management, right? Just those are components that another company might do well with. But if I can make that introduction and have that person solve their problem, they'll think of me next time. And I did good for good's sake, right? Huge. Just creating a memorable moment and being a trusted advisor, right,
Right.
is absolutely so key. So, what does it mean for you to be a trusted advisor?
Yeah, I think the people were not afraid to pick up the phone and call you if they have a question,
Yeah.
for fear of being sold something.
Yeah.
In my career, I've done very little selling. I don't sell. I've had a sales title for 30 years and I don't sell. I
No, I love
just
it.
have conversations with people. Years ago, I was taking a colleague out to lunch, meeting a former client. And we're sitting at the table, we're eating lunch, we're just having some small talk. And the client looks at the two of us and he says, "You know, John, we've done millions and millions of dollars of business together over the years, and I don't ever remember you selling me one thing."
I love that.
That was the best compliment I ever got.
I think so too. I mean, I think you and I had talked about it, right? When you walk into a lunch anywhere in a city, right? I think you can pretty much see just the conversation of somebody else that's taking place, and you just kind of watch, dynamics and nonverbals and hands gestures. And I always play the game, spot the saleshuman, right? Just because
That's
it's
right.
so easy to do, and they look so uncomfortable, but it really shouldn't be. I think it should be about a relationship. So
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
So important.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So when you look at what's changed, right, just over the course of the last 12 months, 6 months, I've noticed a lot that's changed since COVID, specifically on business interactions, specifically in leads and, sales tactics, and whether they be emails or, LinkedIn notifications. It seems like it's gotten really crazy. Tell me what you've seen. Tell me what folks need to be ready for.
Yeah, it has. It has. I think the velocity and the volume of noise has increased exponentially as, all of these um, software companies, go out and hire an army of sales reps, BDRs, SDRs, account executives, and these poor customers and prospects are getting bombarded by people with nonstop email and phone call campaigns. And
Yes.
so, how do you separate yourself from the noise? And it kind of goes back to what we started with, which is, relationships and just really having real conversations with people about what they're trying to get accomplished. It's not, I have a hammer and I'm looking for a nail. It's, where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do? And maybe I can help you get there, maybe not. I mean, maybe I know someone else who can.
Yeah. So much trust, so much respect for you. Great advice. Um, I'm
Thank you.
seeing I'm seeing the same things, even from my standpoint, where I've got lead generators and lead retrievals and marketing people are pinging me. How they found my contact information, whether it be my work email or my personal email or LinkedIn, I have no idea. But I probably get 6, 7 unsolicited requests for people to connect on LinkedIn that I've never met before.
Oh
And
yeah.
seconds of accepting, I get a sales pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know them. I'm not going to buy from them. I don't even have in many cases a person that does know them. But it's just I don't know anybody that sold anything that way, or anybody that's built a great relationship with someone that wants to sell them something. So if you do, leave it in the comments.
Right. Right.
If that's worked for you, leave it in the comments. But thank you, John Harrison, again. I think you're one in a million, and I wish you nothing but the best always.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn, please feel free to like, comment, or reshare. If you're watching it on YouTube, please feel free to like and to comment as well. John Harrison, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.